The courtroom was silent, except for the shuffling of worn shoes and the quiet clink of handcuffs. A frail black man in tattered layers stepped forward, eyes low, posture slumped from years of being overlooked. His name, at least what the system called him, was Elliot Carter. Name? The judge barked, not even glancing up. "Elliot Carter, sir," the man mumbled. The judge sighed, flipping through a thick folder. Loitering, resisting, trespassing. Again. Then he looked up. What he saw didn't impress him. A bearded, middle-aged black man, gaunt, dirty, trembling from a cold or maybe shame. No eye contact. No defiance. Just silence. The judge scoffed. "I'm wasting my lunch break on this." Laughter echoed faintly from the back benches. The man didn't flinch. But what Judge Harold Fields didn't know, what no one in that courtroom knew, was that this nobody had once held a badge, a job, a house, and a name that wasn't his to give up. What he didn't know was that this man was never supposed to be here, and that the real criminal was still walking free, wearing his identity like a mask.
Before we continue, if you believe in stories that expose injustice and restore dignity, please like this video, subscribe to Black Justice, and share your thoughts in the comments. We speak for those the system forgets.
The arrest report was vague. No ID, no known address, no priors, yet somehow the charges felt too tailored. Like someone had built a file, just convincing enough to stick, to someone too voiceless to object. Elliot didn't speak much, not even to his public defender. But when he did, it was always the same line. "That's not my name." The defender had heard it before. Schizophrenics, addicts, conspiracists. She wrote it off like the rest. But something about this one was different. His hands were too steady, his posture too trained. And when the bailiff shouted at him to move faster, Elliot turned slowly, glanced back, and said, "Don't yell at me like that. I was a man once, too." A flicker of clarity, of pride, of memory. Still, the court moved quickly. The judge was in the mood for delays. 3 months in county. No trial. No hearing. Just a signature and a bang of the gavel. But just before the final decision, Elliot said something that made the room hold its breath. "I built the foundation of this courthouse with my father. We etched our names into the stone beneath the judge's bench." The judge paused, pen hovering in midair. "Excuse me," he muttered, looking up sharply. But Elliot was already being led away. That night, Judge Fields couldn't sleep. He kept hearing those words on a loop. "We etched our names into the stone beneath the judge's bench." Who would know something like that? Judge Fields arrived early the next morning, flashlight in hand. The courtroom was empty, silent. He stepped down from the bench, crouched to the stone base, and pried up a piece of the wooden molding. Dust floated in the sliver of light. And there it was, faint but unmistakable. M. Carter, E. Carter, 1989. His heart dropped. He had dismissed that man as a criminal. But somehow, he was tied to the very stone this institution stood on. The judge called his clerk. "I need everything you have on Elliot Carter. Every record. Every alias. Now." The system flagged something odd. There were 2 Elliot Carters in the system. Same birth year. Similar height. But different mugshots. One had a spotless record. A real estate license. An address in Maryland. The other, a string of minor offenses, unstable job history, no known relatives. But here's the twist. The one in jail had no fingerprints on file. The other did. The judge ordered a scan. It didn't match. This man was not the Elliot Carter with the criminal record. This man had no record at all. The public defender dug deeper. She called Maryland, spoke to a clerk who knew the name, pulled up property deeds, business licenses. Then the call that changed everything. "Yes, Elliot Carter used to work with my father," said the clerk. "He was a civil engineer, helped build courthouses across the state." "What happened to him?" the defender asked. "He went missing. Years ago. Everyone thought he'd died. But I remember he always said if anything happened to him, someone had stolen something from him." Her voice cracked. "He wasn't paranoid. He was right, back in the county jail. Elliot sat on the edge of his bunk, eyes distant but alert. The door buzzed. 2 officers entered. "Mr. Carter," one of them said quietly, "you're being released." He didn't move, didn't believe it. The judge himself walked in, not robed, not stern, just human. "I owe you an apology," he said. Elliot looked up slowly, eyes narrowing. "You found the stone," he said, barely above a whisper. The judge nodded. "And the man who took your life? He's being investigated now. Identity fraud, grand larceny, decades of deception." Elliot chuckled, dry and bitter. "All it took was etching my name in stone."
Stories like this remind us, when systems fail, it's up to us to question, to listen, and to believe. If this story moved you, please like, comment, and subscribe to Black Justice, where truth speaks louder than judgment.